How's everybody doing? Ugh. It is the weekend. We made it. They said we weren't going to be able to do it, but we proved them wrong. So before everyone sort of comes on in here, I want to talk a little bit about this being the least productive week I've had in 4 years. Couple things have happened in my life. One, April's gone to boot camp. Two, I went camping this weekend. Three, I got sick. And that was it. That sickness, man. I don't know what it's like, a chest cold, head cold. Oh my goodness. I'm still beat down. Like, I feel today was the worst day by far. So I'm hoping. So like, you feel in those chest colds where um like on Sunday, I felt like I was coming down with something, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're like, I think I'm overcoming. And then Thursday comes, and you're like, nah, dog, you sick as shit. And then today's been no better. So on Thursday, I took a half day, and then today I sort of took 3/4 of a day, to be honest. I might work a little bit on this weekend to knock out this project. We'll see. Probably not. I think what I'm going to do is on Monday, I'm going to do a week's worth of work in about 12 hours on Monday if I feel up to it. The project I'm on right now, I need to sort of wrap up a little bit earlier than anticipated. I'm getting the signals that they're about to drop me off of it and pull me onto something else. So, yeah. So I've been coughing up phlegm and all this other nastiness. Look how salty. You guys see my cat over here? He's just giving me the side eye. You guys see him? Tito. Salty kitty. I don't know if you guys saw it. He's giving me the side eye. But yeah, man. So I've been spending. So like So my time has been halved already because April's going to boot camp, and I'm picking up some chores. I'm cooking more. I'm cleaning more. Taking care of the pets more. I'm picking up a lot. It's like a lot of the stuff that normally should be doing. And so right now I'm just trying to drink a lot of water and rest. I actually went to the pool yesterday and just laid in the sun and in the water for about 30 minutes. That was really nice, but it wasn't a good day today to do that. I felt much better for a little bit. But yeah, I'm looking to feeling better. I got a lot of stuff I still got to do, man. I'm writing a course syllabus for LinkedIn that I'm like 2 weeks behind on now. I got my video dev docs course that I've been working on, or not course, project. Of course, I got YouTube, which I haven't really done a video for this week because how crazy I've been. April is doing Lambda, the Lambda school. So how is she liking it? I've been debating if her and I want to do a weekly podcast where we talk about it, sort of give her a unique, interesting portfolio project. Maybe get her to build a little bit of an online presence. I haven't really pulled the trigger on it. I meant to get it up and running for last week or two, but we haven't made a decision about that. But so here's the thing. If you've ever had to mentor your significant other in something, okay. So if you've ever had to mentor your significant other in something, what you have to understand is that there's a baseline amount of disrespect between any two people who are equals in any healthy relationship, and respect. That doesn't necessarily translate to the workplace. So, there is it's a very hard dynamic to ignore. It's so from a professional standpoint, I am a senior software engineer. I am continuing to perfect my craft every single day. I'm always trying to get better, and and I am a great resource to have. But it doesn't change the fact that April is my significant other, and as a teacher to a student, that is not an equal relationship. So what happens is you're essentially like teacher and teacher, except one teacher knows much more than the other teacher, but it doesn't matter. So you need to shut the hell up, other teacher. So it's been a funny dynamic in that sense. But a lot of it is um, a lot of it has been very good. A lot of it is also it's very fast paced, as it should be, and so there's been some stressful moments, and I don't really let them bother me too much, but sometimes they do, where she's freaking out on me, and because she's stressed because she can't get it, or I'm not going fast enough to sort of explain what she's not getting, and she has to get this in by this time, and I remember, man. I remember crying over APIs. Like, it's a very vivid thing. Crying over asynchronous code and promises and not understanding what I just don't understand. So I let that shit slide. Uh, but why did she choose Lambda? One, she wanted something that was online. Two, they have a nice income sharing agreement that works out really well for us right now. So no, not really, Zach. But yeah, it's very fast paced. She's building a lot. She's building like a web page a day right now. So they're still in the HTML, CSS. Like day two, they threw them into Flexbox. Any thoughts on Hack Reactor? Hack Reactor is very good, but I'm not going into SF. And for me personally, if it was me, and all things considered, I would prefer an in-person boot camp. I think that's the better way of going about it, but it's not a very practical way for a lot of people. I know Hack Reactor offers an online one, but I'm not interested really in online boot camps. Yeah, she has this thing where she asks me questions and she basically thinks I just don't hear her and ignore her. And this goes back to the dynamic of aspiring developer to developer. So like if if I was mentoring one of you guys, this is your base level knowledge. This is where I'm at. Okay. Not an ego thing, but we're just not talking about expertise, right? Professional. Um, it's hard for a significant other to look up to you. So this is where we're at. And so I'm constantly disrespecting her in her mind when in reality as a beginner, it's more so the case where she thinks she's saying one thing, but it doesn't translate to what is actually being said. Um, so um, yeah, she always thinks I. You don't think I know anything? Like, well, you kind of don't, but no, that's not what I'm trying to say. It's been interesting, but she's doing very well. I'm very proud of her. Um, she's putting the time, effort, and energy in. It's not easy. She's basically locked in her office with the dogs for about 9 to 10 hours a day, and I go down. So I work full remote now. I don't know if I told you guys that, but I'm working full remote. Um, and so I've essentially been taking the dogs out about once every 2 hours from there and spend a little time, bring them up with me, whatever it is, try and help. But yeah, I would say if I was to describe how she's feeling, um, that she is excited, she is tired, she is stressed, and she is enjoying it. That would be how I would describe it. And that's sort of what you should expect from a boot camp. It's called a boot camp for a reason, right? So like if I told you that you could go and get your 4-year degree in a year, would you not expect it to be ramped up? Would you not expect it to be fast paced? Would you not expect it to be exhausting? Of course you would. And boot camp's the same thing. Oh my god, I feel like shit. I wanted to make sure I did my weekly live stream though. Yeah. Oh my goodness. But yeah, life is good. I mean, I need to get over this sickness and get my energy back. It's so hard for me to focus while I'm sick. It's really hard, especially as a developer where your stuff is so mental. Luckily for the project that I'm on, I did most of the complexity early on because it had to be done, and now I can look at sort of a lot of it's repeating some pieces of it in different orders. Um, so that's kind of nice. So that allowed me to sort of make my week easier because when I'm sick anyhow, my brain gets jumbled a little bit, especially with the cold medicine. Then it's hard to put it all together. I still can, I just go at a slower pace, and so it's been a little bit rough in that aspect. Working remote takes a toll on you after a while. I did it for 5 years now. I need to start exercising, but yeah, I am, as you can see, I'm getting a little carrying a little weight. You know, so uh, uh, I'm stacking them gains. All right, I'm stacking them gains. But I was looking into some exercise equipment. I just don't know where I'm going to put it right now. So that's the hard thing. I gotta figure out where I'm going to put it. As a beginner, it's easy to burn out because you don't know your limits. It can turn counterproductive. I talked about this in the last live stream about how you just have to accept burnout as a reality of life and overcome it. Basically, that's sort of where I'm at. Or I don't really get burnt out anymore. I'm just always burnt out. Does that make sense? Or like I've just built my burnout threshold um, to an unhealthy level, I would say. You know what I mean? Because here's the reality situation. Is like, and I was talking about this last live stream, so I'm not going to get into it too much. Is that, um, we're in year 4, or we're in the final home stretch. I told April 4 years ago I was going to work every day for 5 years, and I basically have. This week was my most unproductive week in as that I can remember in the last 4 years, and so um, you can't work the schedule that I work and set the goals that I've set for myself to go and not expect to be burnt out. It's just a reality. Software development in general is a very stressful field. Now add the fact that you're building courses, that you have a YouTube channel, that you're licensing content, that you're working on side projects, that you're mentoring your significant other while they're doing their shit. Um, and then everything that life throws at you. So I accepted about 2 years ago that I was just going to be burnt out. Maybe not even 2 years ago, maybe like a year and a half ago. And once I accepted that I was going to be burnt out, it stopped surprising me that I was burnt out, and it stopped affecting me nearly as much that I was burnt out. And so all I've really been able to do is build my threshold of pain tolerance, essentially, because that's really what it is. And so when I did that and I understood that for the next several years that was going to be my life, everything sort of made sense. Does that make sense? Like, it's the surprise of being burnt out that is more so. Like, it's like building up a muscle, right? So we're talking a little bit about running, right? So if you run one time a year, it's gonna suck. But if you run every single day, it's gonna suck a little less every day, and you're gonna be a better runner every day. And it's sort of that muscle memory, except with burnout. That's how I look at it. Uh, but yeah, so running for preventing blood clot. Yeah, so what I do is I have a automatic standing desk, so I'm constantly switching between sitting and standing, and I usually take walks. So I walk around my community about 2-3 times during a workday. Yeah. You heard it's better to walk 30 to 60 minutes than to use a standing desk? Why not do both? Um, when I take those walks, do you think about work or do you try and reset your mind? Um, Usually I'm not thinking about much. Um, so like, okay, so I usually start my day out where I'm doing about, I have about God, the first half of my day is very busy, meeting heavy. So I'm usually in about 2 to 3 hours of meetings from the get go. Bam, bam, bam. And in that 3 hour period, I might have a 30-minute and a 30-minute, but I have 2 hours of meetings in my first 3 hours. So depending on how it breaks up, when one of the meetings ends, I might go and take a walk for 10 minutes, try and just get some get some sun, drink my coffee, whatever it is. Try and just prepare for my next meeting mentally. Um, cool. So um, after that happens like so I have my 3 hours of meetings, 2 to 3 hours, I should say, and um, it's usually two. Sometimes it's three, but it's usually two. So I have my 2 hours meetings from like 7:30 to like 10ish. I go on lunch around 11:30, so I get about an hour and a half of work in. So I take a between the hour and a half and work, I take 1 to 2 walks, and then at lunch, I essentially throw something in the toaster oven or the toaster, and then I take another walk around the block like cooks. I say hi to April. My office is upstairs, so I'm constantly going up and downstairs to stretch my legs. But when I take the walks, for the most part, I don't think about work. Um, I don't think about work much anyhow. Some days there are days where I wake up and it pisses me off that I'm thinking about work first thing in the morning. Um, like that really pisses me off, and it does happen. And why does it make me angry that I'm thinking about work? Well, um, oftentimes it's because I try to mentally compartmentalize that work is a portion of my life, but it isn't my life. Does that make sense? And when I wake up thinking about it, I feel like it's not in that compartment. Um, and so it does happen at times, but when I'm taking my walks, usually I don't think about shit. I'm just stretching my legs, having coffee, thinking about what's next in life. But there's not really too much to think about when it comes to work. I don't really. like, what would I think about in regards to work? Like solutions for things? There's not really anything I build nowadays that I need to think about a solution. The closest thing I get to is sort of what I'm working on now, which is I'm using some API or package and I need to dive deep into the documentation. Everything is pretty simple nowadays. It's not, I mean, simple in the fact that, like, at a certain point, you've built so many e-commerce platforms, you've built so many CRUD tools, you've built so many e-commerce CRUD tools, like, you've built so many websites that what is it that is the challenge? Does that make sense? Like, there's not really anything challenging. You're not really, most of the time you're not building anything mind blowing. Um, so I know. How's it going, Luke? I mean, you do get stuck. I got stuck 2, 3 weeks ago, and I had to bring one of my team members in. That wasn't like a logic thing. That was like a configuration thing, where I couldn't get my configurations right, and there's my node modules were, what do you call it? They were being cached, and it caused issues. So I mean, you still get stuck on things, but it's not because anything's challenging. I'm sure there's been a few things where I've been, but I would say that I'm challenged. Oh man. What's my take on Ruby? My take on Ruby is that it wouldn't be my first choice. Um, so what I would say to you is that you should take anything that's development and work your way out of it. But um, I would say there's a reason that boot camps aren't teaching Ruby anymore. You know what I mean? 6 hours trying to set up Ruby on Rails. Yeah. Greetings, Jack. Jack Lee. I get so many invites on LinkedIn. And can I just say, if you're a recruiter watching my video, please don't come to me with busted offers. Like, you're just wasting everybody's time. You need to come with good offers and don't present them as stuff that they're not. I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't understand how you're So this is what bothers me. Like, bothers me about certain recruiters. One, they don't read your shit anyhow. We think you'd be great for our C#.NET role. Really? Because I don't think I'd be great for our C#.NET role. So, okay. So if I was, you can offer unemployed developers busted offers. But if you're going to try and steal a developer away from another organization, then you have to at least have a significantly better offer than their previous one, than their current one. So like these companies that, these recruiters that try and steal you away and then give you these busted offers on these busted projects no one wants to be a part of. Why couldn't you? Why couldn't I do C#? I could, but here's the thing, Aaron. I've not. Could I do C#.NET? Yeah. it took me 2 weeks to pick up C#.net. No big deal. Um, right? The issue is when they go back to the hiring manager. So you have to understand is that most developers are dog shit. 9 out of 10 developers are dog shit. That's why they're concerned when companies are like, well, you don't know React. It's like, dude, I've worked in Vue, I've worked in Angular, I've worked in AngularJS. I have multiple courses on JavaScript and hundreds of videos on JavaScript. I'll pick up React in a weekend. And I've already built projects in React. I'm not worried about it. Well, you don't know React, so we're going to, that's it. And the reason for it is they hire these people who know React and they can't do anything with it. So you have to say, okay, well, if I was to leave my current employer, and I have no plans to, I'm actually very happy. Look, so you make me full remote and pay me well, we're good. All right, like we are straight. Like, good luck sniping me away. You're gonna have to cut the cheddar on a good $30,000 to $40,000 raise level. So, um, and better benefits. Good luck beating the benefits I have. But anyhow. So a role comes along, C#.net. Could I do it? Yeah, man. C#.net. It's C# is very similar to TypeScript. The issue is this: is I I I would only leave for a higher paying job. No one's gonna pay me more than what I make now in a language that I have no work experience in. I might be able to get the same, but I already get above market value, according to LinkedIn, anyhow, by about $25,000. So, um, that's why it's not worth wasting my time. It's not worth wasting their time. Um, that's all. But then you have the roles that are offered. Hey, man, we got this great, fantastic opportunity. We're looking for a senior JavaScript engineer that pays $85,000 a year. Well, that's very nice of you, but that's roughly $50,000 less than I make now. So, I wish you the best, but you, how are you gonna steal someone away from a company like that? Come on, man. Come on. Don't you stop wasting everybody's time. Stop wasting your LinkedIn messages. Those aren't cheap. Um, I want to create a productivity app. Any suggestions? Not really. Um, how do you deal with the shift from a JavaScript stack to a whole different thing like data science? If you could go and become a junior data science, I wouldn't really worry about it. You're gonna make more money pretty soon. But yeah, just understand what the serious thing. Just understand what the end goal is. Like, is it gonna suck for a year? Probably not, because you're gonna be enjoying what you're learning. Are you gonna make a little bit less money? Yeah, but data science pays more than development. So give it 2-3 years, you'll ramp up and make more money. Oh man. I think a lot of people struggle with keeping your eyes on the prize, right? So like, and it's in everything, right? And I'm no different, right? Like, there's things that I want. Um, I'll give you an example. Um, I rent out 2 of my rooms, and so that brings me in about $1,300 a month. My mortgage is $1,880. So essentially, if you wanted to do the math, I'm paying about $580 for my house out of pocket a month. But instead of doing that, I think about the end goal of paying off my house early. I have a 30-year mortgage. So if I made the minimum payments for 30 years, I'd own my house outright. Now, if I take that 1,300 and I pay that on top of my mortgage, I will actually decrease the length of my mortgage by 2/3. So after 10 years, I will have a paid off house at without throwing any additional money except the rent, the additional rent money on top of the mortgage. Is that going to suck for 10 years to have roommates? Maybe. I don't really care. Am I going to have roommates for 10 years? No, I'm probably going to pay it out. Pay it off early. But the point I'm trying to make is that you sometimes you have to think about what your goal is and how you're going to achieve it. Oftentimes people think about what their goal is and that's it. They don't necessarily think about the sacrifices they have to make to go and achieve it. So in my case, sacrificing a little bit of money now um, to have a lot less hardship later. Um, excuse me. In your case, sacrificing being a senior to going back to being a junior to whatever it may be, you really have to just think about what your goal is and how you're going to sort of delay that pleasure. Like that's part of being an adult, man, is making decisions for the future and not the present. It's a hard thing to do. It's not easy. Yeah. Um, my thoughts on Svelte JS. I haven't really dove into it. I think it's catching a lot of headlines. I I don't really care one way or the other. uh, so I don't know significantly how much different it is from the others. I think people focus too much on frameworks. They're all the same. They all do similar things. Some are more verbose than others, but for the most part, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You have the clock already? Yeah, usually I get off around 4. I caught it a little bit of early. On Fridays, I usually call it a little bit early unless I'm really heads deep, but also just being kind of sick. Excuse me. Yeah. Is there a similar thing to React Native and Angular and Vue? In Angular, there's Ionic, which would be somewhat similar. I don't know about Vue. I imagine there is. Yeah. Oh man. It's been fun though. Seeing April learning to code. It's been interesting. Yes, this is her second week in Lambda school. So as she's in here lurking. What are the main projects I'm building right now? Video dev docs is my main one. Yeah, that's my main squeeze. That's my main girl. Video dev docs. We're getting pretty close. Oh man. Yep. You know me from Free Code Camp tutorials? Yeah, I haven't done any Free Code Camp in a while. Um, has Free Code Camp done anything to their platform lately? I haven't been following Quincy as much as I used to. Did I finish everything on Free Code Camp? I didn't do the information security and quality assurance, and I did not finish the AP. Did I finish the API on microservice projects? I guess not. I did the majority of them though. I'd have to jump back in and see what the deal is. Uh, I'm looking through right now. So I need to do the data visualization. I don't think I'm ever going to do the data visualization because I despise D3. D3 was just the biggest pain in my ass I've ever had to do. The API and microservice projects, maybe I'll do that this weekend if I feel better. I could do these API microservice projects in a weekend at this point. There's a lot of items that you can do to check for vulnerabilities in your application. Usually the CLI will tell you, or NPM will tell you. Still struggling with those grids? It happens, man. Gotta reprogram your brain. I would just recommend continuing going through free code camp. I did some sections over on free code camp. Are there a lot of jobs in front end web dev? It seems to be. Maybe I will, man. I haven't. I'm working more in Node and everything. It'd be nice to go and add another certificate to the resume. I'm trying to think what I added to it this year. I guess I added a podcast, added a couple courses. Happy Friday, Rick. Happy Friday. Um, I don't remember if I did these projects and put them on the YouTube channel. The way that I've gone about designing things is I simply hire someone on Fiverr for a few dollars. Looking at this glitch thing. Maybe I will do it. I don't know. I've put up so many videos. I don't remember if I've done it or not. Why is it at least? It's a clickbait. I don't do clickbait. No, just between being sick, taking on more chores, and helping April, and we went camping this weekend. Can you guys see these bug bites on my feet? Can you see those red marks? See all those? See all those red marks? I got bit up, man. Ugh. Went camping. Just this. Look, this chest cold, head cold is killing me, man. Just went camping, man. It's a bad decision. Never again. Um, yeah, the dogs had a blast, man. So that was the thing. We took the dogs and we met up with some buddies of mine who had dogs, and we went to a dog beach where they could run around off leash with other dogs, and it was a good time. Have I ever worked full time as freelancer? Sort of, but not really. Oh.